Millions of years ago, a spacecraft of an advanced humanoid extraterrestrial society shows up on an early-stage planet, potentially Earth. One of the outsiders polishes off a dim fluid, making its body deteriorate and fall into a close-by cascade. We see its DNA separate and recombine, cultivating the planet with the structure blocks of life. In the year 2089 on the Isle of Skye off the shore of Scotland, paleologist couple Elizabeth Shaw and her sweetheart Charlie Holloway find a star map in a cavern which they record among the remainders of a few in any case detached old societies. They decipher this as a greeting from humankind's precursors. Peter Wayland, the older organizer and president of the Wayland Company, reserves the production of the logical profound space research vessel called the USCSS Prometheus to follow the guide to the far-off moon of level 223 if you light a long time from Earth. The boat's team goes in hibernation balance at light speed while the android David stays alert at the pilot control to screen their whole journey. In 2093, the boat shows up in the circle around level 223. It isn't a similar planet originally found in the 1979 film Outsider, however, is in a close-by locale of Room, as affirmed by Ridley Scott on Friday, June 1st on BBC Radio 5 Live. Outsider is set on level 426. In the wake of being stirred from hibernation, the group are educated regarding their main goal to track down the antiquated outsiders, called designers, who might be the makers of humanity. They likewise view a holographic message from Wayland himself, who educates them concerning his financing for the mission and that he has since passed on. Wayland likewise illuminates everybody that Charlie and Elizabeth are responsible for the mission. The Prometheus enters the air of the planet, experiencing disturbance which scatters when they get through the overcast cover and can see the surface. The Prometheus lands close to an outsider construction looking like a huge sanctuary-like pyramid, and a group including Shaw, Holloway, and David investigates it, while Vickers and skipper Janik stay on board the boat and screen their advancement. Mission Chief Meredith Vickers orders them to stay away from any immediate contact and to return assuming the outsiders are found. Inside the pyramid, they find a pocket of breathable air. In a damp chamber that David opens, they find many chamber-like relics, a solid sculpture of a humanoid head, and the executed cadaver of a monster outsider remembered to be one of the designers. Different bodies are subsequently tracked down in the design, and the species is dared to be wiped out. They view chronicle film of holographic specialists running down the hallways responding to a sometime in the past crisis likewise important. The outsider designers are wearing precisely the same biomechanical spacesuits that the dead outsider space rider wears in the crashed spaceship in the first Outsider film, in this manner affirming the association between them as indeed the very same extraterrestrial species. David subtly returns a chamber to the boat, while the excess chambers in the chamber start releasing a dull liquid, enacted by the adjustment of temperature or environment when the chamber was opened. Quickly moving towards storm powers the group to get back to Prometheus, leaving team individuals Milburn and Fifield abandoned in the pyramid structure in the wake of getting derailed attempting to discover the way. Shaw demands they return the specialists' head to the boat with them, and they scarcely return alive, David protecting the couple when they're passed over the stacking stage. In the boat, Shaw and Surgeon Portage break down the specialist's head, eliminating a weighty cap with David's assistance. They find that its DNA is indistinguishable from that of mankind. Utilizing an electric needle, they resurrect the head briefly. Be that as it may, openness to the breathable climate makes the cut-off architect's head decay quickly and it crumbles. Afterward, David explores the chamber and finds a few ampoules containing a gooey dark liquid. The team of Prometheus examine the importance of life. The android David questions why he was made by man, and Shaw questions her own reality, as she is fruitless and unfit to make life. David deliberately contaminates Holloway with the substance he tracked down inside the ampoule, concealing it in a drop of fluid on his finger and momentarily plunging it into a glass of champagne Holloway beverages to commend their disclosure. Afterward, Shaw and the contaminated Holloway make love. Holloway later searches in a mirror and sees his eyes are transforming. They are roomy and he sees a little, silverworm-like organic entity rise out of one of his corneas. Back inside the design, Fifield and Milburn see a weird, snake-like animal rise out of a pool of the dark liquid that has spilled from the chambers. At the point when Milburn attempts to look at the animal, it rapidly gets his hand and folds itself over his arm, breaking it in no time. At the point when Fifield attempts to remove it, a destructive liquid yellow acidic blood from one of the animals softens Fifield's head protector, presenting him to the dim fluid spilling from the chambers. The animal then works its direction into his suit and powers itself down his throat. The following morning, after the tempest dies down, the Prometheus group gets back to the design and tracks down Milburn's cadaver. David finds a room containing a living designer in balance and a holographic star map featuring a few far-off planetary frameworks. He looks as visualizations of the specialists initiate a navigational framework. One of the planets that in the end seems is Earth. Abruptly, the framework closes down, abandoning the 3D image of Earth. David finds a solitary specialist in a close-by balance case and can hear its heart thumping. Holloway's contamination quickly desolates his body, and he is surged back to the boat. As he apparently breaks down, Vickers will not let him on board, referring to isolation conventions. At the point when he moves toward Vickers, imploring her to kill him, she consumes him to death with a flamethrower. Shaw is crushed. A clinical sweep uncovers that Shaw, regardless of being sterile, is pregnant. David represses her to restore her to Earth in balance. He takes the cross her dad gave her, saying that it is what she believed. Cognizant, Wayland is found to have been in balance on board the boat, and it's uncovered that Vickers is his girl. Wayland clears up for Shaw that he expects to request that the architects assist him with keeping away from his approaching passing. A transformed Fifield is found right external the holder sound and assaults and kills a few team individuals prior to being committed suicide. Janik hypothesizes that the moon they are on was involved by the specialists as an army installation until they failed to keep a grip on their natural weapons, specifically the chambers and the dark liquid they contain. The leftover team return to the construction and stir the specialist, who possessing is found to be a space transport, a similar plan as the neglected Outsider space transport found in Outsider 1979. David communicates in an Outsider language to the designer, asking him for what good reason they made humanity, and requesting that he expand the unique kind of energy maker, Mr. Wayland. The specialist answers by tearing his head out and killing Wayland in Portage. Shaw escapes from the spacecraft as it is actuated by the designer. The still dynamic David recommends the architect will deliver the ampoules of dark liquid on the planet, accordingly killing each living animal in the planet. Vickers orders Janik to get back to Earth, yet Shaw persuades him to stop the architect's boat. Janik and his two enduring crew members take off and crash the Prometheus into the designer's boat while Vickers escapes in a getaway unit. The incapacitated designer transport crashes onto the planet, falling onto Vickers, squashing her. Shaw scarcely circumvents being squashed herself. Shaw goes to the getaway case to recover supplies, views that as her cut short yet alive outsider posterity has developed to enormous size. The specialist endures the accident, enters the departure case and goes after Shaw, who delivers the tentacled animal. It stifles the designer by pushing an ovipositor down its throat. Shaw accepts she's abandoned in the world until David reaches her and tells her that there are a greater amount of the specialists and somewhere else in the world. She recuperates David's remaining parts from the spacecraft, reclaiming the cross David had taken from her, and together they travel to and enact another specialist transport. Shaw and the remaining parts of android David then, at that point, take off to head out to the specialist's homeworld. Heaven, trying to comprehend the reason why they made mankind and why they later endeavored to obliterate it. In the last shot, in Vickers' getaway unit, an outsider animal basically the same as the xenomorph found in the other Outsider 1979 films blasts out of the perishing architect's chest. Subscribe for more videos like this and turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.